Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. It is a lovely day here in Austin, Texas. Kind of gloomy. Predictions say it's going to rain. I hope it does, just for the fact that I have some yard work I was thinking about doing, but I'd much rather stay inside and go through the special features on Star Wars The Last Jedi. That's right. My first priority of today, before even doing this podcast, was to go to Target, grab The Last Jedi on Blu-ray. I know there are those haters out there who didn't like the movie. Hashtag not my Luke Skywalker. Hashtag boycott The Last Jedi. If you don't like the film, I get it. I enjoyed it. And, let's move on from there, guys. We're all entitled to our own opinions. The thing that bugs me is I go to a Star Wars forum on Facebook group. It's a group, Star Wars Celebration 2019. And people are talking about what versions of the movie they want to buy. Where should they go? Should they go to Best Buy or Target or Walmart? What's offering what? Because usually each store offers a little different version. And then some guy comes on and be like, the movie sucks. It's going to be the $5 bin in 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, really? Why? I mean, I get you don't like the movie, and I respect your opinion as to why you don't. But when there is a thread started about people who like the movie and you chime in just to hate on it, that's called being a dick, okay? That's the same type of person who takes their truck and runs it through a bunch of people who are peacefully protesting just because you don't like something that they do. Got a little off topic there, but in any event, Star Wars The Last Jedi, I'm excited to go through the special features, and I hope you are too. Fire back in the comments. Let me know if you find anything good. The one I really want to go through is the audio version only. Allegedly on the Movies Anywhere digital app, there's a version where you can go through and it's just the John Williams score. No dialogue or sound effects. It's just the picture and John Williams' beautiful score. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, let me hurry up and do this podcast so maybe I'll get to watch at least a few special features today. Okay, guys, so starting off, there was a little announcement this morning. So 20th Century Fox has put a bit of a delay on their X-Men movie. So multiple sources, including Deadline, are reporting that X-Men Dark Phoenix is moving their release date from November 2nd of this year to February 14th of next year. Now, earlier, the New Mutants had been pushed back from April this year to that February deadline. Well, that's been pushed back. They're going from February 22nd to 2019. So this kind of pushes the X-Men films that 20th Century Fox had planned for this year pretty far back. I mean, months ago, they released a schedule where they're going to do 3 X-Men films this year. They're going to do The New Mutants in April, Deadpool in June, and then X-Men Dark Phoenix in November. Everything's been switched around since then. First, New Mutants was pushed back to February, Deadpool was moved up to May, and now you got X-Men Dark Phoenix being pushed back to February, and then New Mutants being pushed back to August of next year. So with the New Mutants, it said the push was to be that they were going to add a new character to the film. So pushing the film back totally makes sense. With X-Men Dark Phoenix, it's only a couple months. So really, when it's only a couple months like that, it's going to be one of those things where I feel like they want to do it so they can get the film right. And I'm totally okay with it, I don't plan on kicking the bucket anytime until February. So if they want to push it back to make the film better, I'm okay with that. What I feel, though, is Fox seems to be on this mentality that ever since Deadpool hit big in February, it's kind of a magic date that if you put something there, it will succeed. I don't believe that. At first, they were talking about putting Gambit in February. Then they moved the New Mutants back to February. Then they put X-Men Dark Phoenix back in February. Deadpool succeeded, yes, because February is kind of a lull for movies, and a film that is good can have a lot of legs and make a lot of money. But Deadpool, of course, is an anomaly. Fox needs to get away from the mentality that February will make them money. I don't believe that. Now, I do believe X-Men Dark Phoenix is going to be a decent film. At least I'm crossing my fingers and hoping it will be. So if it is a good film and you put it in February with very little competition, it could succeed. Also, you're getting away from that November holiday competition. You got several other films that are coming out on the holidays. So again, it could give X-Men Dark Phoenix, if it's good, some legs to breathe and really make some money. So I'm totally okay with that. Same thing with New Mutants. You put that in August. August is kind of the tail end of the summer blockbuster season. If it's decent, it could rule August. We saw that with Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel Studios put that in August when a lot of the films that come out at the tail end of the summer weren't very good. Guardians of the Galaxy, being a good film, lasted a long time, made a lot of money. Now, months ago, when it was announced that Fox was going to do 3 X-Men films in 2018, I was highly doubtful. Go back, listen to my podcast. I was like, it seems kind of ambitious for 3 X-Men films, considering New Mutants at the time was only about 6 months away from coming out, and I had hardly heard anything about it, except for maybe some casting. Same thing with X-Men Dark Phoenix. They wanted to release the film in about a year, and I heard anything about shooting or post-production or anything like that. That's the one I have my sights set on, X-Men Dark Phoenix. I liked Apocalypse. I know some people had issues with it, but as an X-Men fan, I thought it was a good X-Men film because it did a lot of cool X-Men staples, such as psychic battles, Magneto's powers, stuff like that. I trust Simon Kinberg as a storyteller because he's been involved with the X-Men franchise for a while. Plus, he's been involved with the show Star Wars Rebels, which I'm a big fan of too. As a producer and storyteller, I'm behind him. He's a first-time director, so that's got me a little bit worried. But there are hundreds of people that work on a film that help support the director. And as long as everyone does their job and aren't afraid to tell him, hey, this doesn't look right, I think it might be okay. I'm hoping it will be okay because I really want this film to be good. Now, how this affects other X films that Fox has planned, I don't know because they're pushing these ones so far back. Remember, we have that Fox-Disney deal looming where pretty much probably by the end of this year, beginning of next year, we're going to see if the government approves the acquisition of Fox properties to Disney, which means X-Men, Fantastic Four. They would go to Disney, aka Marvel Studios, and then of course you can get the X-Men playing in the same sandbox as the Avengers, and it could totally wipe out everything that Fox is working on with the X-Men right now. Now, heads at 20th Century Fox have said that they are planning to go on business as usual until the final nail in the coffin is going to be. Now, that could mean we get an X-Force movie before then, maybe get a third Deadpool film, even a sequel to Dark Phoenix. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, guys. But pushing those films back, I don't mind. Again, I'm never against pushing a film back to try to make it better. Let's look at Justice League. Warner Brothers did not push that film back. Everyone knows they should have, and look what happened. I rest my case. Alright guys, keeping in the Marvel realm, there was a press announcement coming out about the next Marvel Studios film, Captain Marvel, and it looks like we got some old characters coming back for this film that takes place in the 90s. Clark Gregg is going to reprise his role as Agent Phil Coulson. We got Lee Pace coming back as Ronin. And then you have the guy whose name I can't say, Djimon Hounsou. I can never say his name. You know who I'm talking about. It's Ronin's thug that meets Star-Lord at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio and was in Amistad by Steven Spielberg. You know the actor I'm talking about. Great actor. Anyway, he's going to come back as, I believe his name is Korath the Pursuer, I believe is what his name was. But they're coming back to be in Captain Marvel along with Samuel L. Jackson. Of course, you got Brie Larson in the title role. You got Jude Law in this one as Mar-Vell and Ben Mendelsohn as a yet-to-be-disclosed character. Now, the new synopsis that was also released is saying that this film is going to mainly be based on the Kree-Skrull War, said, quote, "The story follows Carol Danvers as she becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races. Set in the 1990s, Captain Marvel is an all-new adventure from a previously unseen period in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe." Right off the bat, I'll say I'm not a big Captain Marvel fan. I like some of the newer stuff they've done with her, where she's teamed up with Sword and kind of been an Earth protector. They have like this intergalactic base set just outside Earth. It's got Rocket Raccoon in it and Ben Grimm. I forget who writes it, but it's pretty decent. I like that. But further back, adventures of the character, I'm not a huge fan of, but I do understand that she is a very powerful character in the Marvel Universe. People are thinking we're going to get a cameo by her in Infinity War. I don't think we're going to get a lot of her, but I can see maybe a post-credits scene with her, because Captain Marvel comes out in between Avengers 3 and Avengers 4. So I think she's going to play a much bigger role in Avengers 4. Going back, I love this casting news. Kree Skrull War, while I really haven't read it, I know what it's all about. And if you're going to set that as kind of the synopsis for the film, of course you got to bring back the Kree, aka Ronan the Accuser. He's pissed off in Guardians of the Galaxy about all the stuff that's happened to the Kree, which you could set that up and tell that backstory in Captain Marvel. I feel like Captain Marvel is going to give us a lot of backstory about the Marvel Cinematic Universe before Iron Man. We're talking about 15 to 20 years or so. Before then, I'm looking at all the 90s references they could do with the pop culture and all that other stuff. Bringing in the Skrulls, which could play a bigger part down the road in, say, Avengers 4 or further. They say that Samuel L. Jackson is going to play a big part in this. First off, of course, let's see how he lost his eye. There's that line in Winter Soldier where he said, "Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye." I want to see that in this film. I want to see him trust someone, and that person he trusted turned out to be a Skrull, so he lost his eye that way. But also, I feel like it's also going to give them the idea to start the Avengers, that there are intergalactic threats that S.H.I.E.L.D. and the regular military can't take care of, so he gets inspired to start the idea of the Avengers Initiative at the end of this film. And then that's when we see him, of course, pop up at the end of Iron Man. I think that'd be a good plot point or story point to go with. Another thing I want to see is other older characters. Howard Stark, Agent Carter, all these older characters. Hank Pym. Let's see them pop up in this film as well. I'm really glad we're getting Agent Coulson in this one, mainly because I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so in my eyes, Agent Coulson is still dead from the Avengers. I don't ever really want to see him come back to the movies, but this is the way of bringing Agent Coulson back. I like him, so that's going to be cool. The more I hear about this film, the more I'm excited for it. Of course, Marvel Studios always does a pretty good job with their films. Aside from a few ones that I didn't like Thor Ragnarok, I pretty much enjoyed all of them. I haven't started my marathon yet of going through the Marvel films. I'm thinking maybe April 1st I'll start that. And I'm going chronological. I'm not going by release date. So I'm starting with Captain America First Avenger, not Iron Man. I'm going to watch the two Guardians of the Galaxy films back to back because in the timeline, that's where they take place. So I'm kind of excited to do that. Of course, getting super excited for Infinity War. And this film, Captain Marvel, coming out in between Infinity War and Avengers 4. I'm very anxious to see what they're going to give us that's going to set up Avengers 4. I think it's going to be a lot. I'm very confident in the film. The actress Brie Larson, Academy Award-winning actress, I loved her in Room. I loved her in Trainwreck. And that's kind of the reason why I liked the newest Tomb Raider so well. I had so much faith in it because it had Alicia Vikander, an Academy Award-winning actress, great actress, leading it. So that gave me confidence in the film. I saw it, and she was good in it. The film itself was pretty good, not great, but I enjoyed it to where I want to see a sequel. And again, Alicia Vikander carried the film and made me like it enough to want to see a sequel. I think, if nothing else, Brie Larson's going to do the same thing for this film. I'm going to like her in this. I'm going to want to see more of her. Give me a sequel to Captain Marvel. Give me her more in Avengers 4. Anyway, I am excited to see these older characters that we thought were dead brought back in a new setting and hopefully setting up some of the backstory for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. FYI, I'm now under the impression that Maria Hill, played by Colby Smulders, is a Skrull. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Okay, guys, well, it is about time for me to say goodbye, but first I'm going to fit in this real quick story before I run out of time. So it is announced that Jane the Virgin star Gina Torres will play Carmen Sandiego in Netflix's upcoming live-action movie. Now, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego is based off the popular educational video game. They had a game show of it back in the 90s, as well as a Saturday morning cartoon on Fox as well in the 90s. I myself have played the game. I played mainly Where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego. I'm still not big on the world, mainly because I'm not that smart. Talked to my 7-year-old nephew. He could probably play that game forwards and backwards and kick my butt all over it. But I enjoyed the adventure aspect of the Saturday morning cartoon, so I'm hoping that's what we're going to get with this. I haven't seen Jane the Virgin. I'm intrigued by the show enough to where I almost want to watch it, but Gina Torres has been in several films that I've enjoyed, and I think she's super hot, super talented, so I am excited to see what Netflix does with this movie. I think I'd much rather see it as a series, but maybe if the film does good, they continue with a franchise. Now, Stranger Things and It star Finn Wolfhard is set to play Player in the film. Player, of course, is the character pretty much, like I said, it's set up from a game. Player is the one who's hunting them down. Whether he's going to be an actual character that's going to be the detective hunting down, I don't know how it's going to be, but Gina Rodriguez as Carmen Sandiego, I think it sounds like a cool concept. And again, I'm anxious to see where they go with it. Alright guys, well that is it for me today. Time for you to fire back on the social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you think. Captain Marvel, going back to the 90s, seeing all these old characters. Is there anybody from the past Marvel films that you want to see? I knew a lot of people are hoping to see Michael Rooker back as Yondu. I personally would love to see Agent Carter back because I love Haley Atwell and that character so much. The X-Men films, they're getting pushed back. Are you happy about this? Does it make you worried? Let me know. And finally, of course, Carmen Sandiego, have you played the game? Did you play it as a kid? What do you think of the Netflix movie? And of course, Gina Rodriguez as the casting. I'll be back hopefully on Thursday, guys, with more news. Until then, I'm going to go enjoy Star Wars The Last Jedi in hopefully many, many forms. There is an audio commentary with Rian Johnson, right? That's my favorite part of these Blu-rays and DVDs. That's why I buy them, for the special features and the audio commentary. So I hope there's one on there. If not, Mr. Johnson's going to get an angry tweet later on today. But anyway, guys, that's it. Fireback, Facebook group, Twitter account, and of course, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Until next time, may the Force be with us all.